All right, let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Obviously, this team is heading into a pivotal year. Some might say even a make or break year for Coach Kalen DeBoer. And to that end, this Alabama coaching staff has recently made, I think, a critical move when it comes to the most important position on the field, the quarterback position. We'll get into that in just one second. But first, I'm Nick. That's Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Alabama quarterback position was obviously one of great intrigue this entire offseason, or at least this offseason up to this point. Spring ball had a lot of eyes on it, but if you listen to what Kalen DeBoer recently said in terms about where they're going at this position, I think it's clear that not only has a front runner emerged, is that Kalen DeBoer and this coaching staff has a clear strategy and plan in place of what they're trying to get and look for at the quarterback position. First and foremost, let's pull up this article courtesy of Sporting News, and we'll talk about it more on the other side. From the report, Kalen DeBoer has been praising the improvement in Ty Simpson's performance all spring, and his latest statement on Simpson further strengthens the likelihood of the quarterback getting established as the Tide starter in 2025. He's super talented. He can get the ball where it needs to be. He's an upperclassman now, so his experiences, you expect him to learn from what he's seen in his time here, DeBoer said, per USA Today. He's a guy that players, I think, see as a productive quarterback, but also one who's fun to be around, a good dude. He's got to continue to balance the leadership piece. Any quarterback needs to not just be seen as a guy, but their guy. That's what you want. You want someone who, at the quarterback position, everyone will fall in line with and do anything for because he's their quarterback. That competition continues to happen. We are not where we need to be yet, but Ty certainly has all the traits to win championship games for us. That's really important there, really insightful. I really believe that, but I also believe we have a couple other quarterbacks who have it in them to do the same thing. All right, I think that last sentence there, I think, is the most important part, is Ty Simpson has the traits to win championship quarterbacks. He then throws away, hey, the other guys are good too, which I understand why, right? If he didn't say that last sentence about the other quarterbacks, it would kind of be like, whoa, what's wrong with those guys? But that's the important thing because, people kind of forgot a little bit. I know in Tuscaloosa or Alabama fans, you guys haven't forgotten. But the reality is the standard at Alabama, the standard for the Tide is and will and probably will be forever winning championship games, getting to championship games and winning them. And I like the fact that Kalen DeBoer's mindset still remains that, right? There's a lot of questions as if he's the guy to do that for Alabama. We'll have to wait and see. But the fact he's taken an approach of, okay, we are grading and evaluating quarterbacks on who can win championship games for us. Because there is a little difference, right? There's a difference between who's the most athletic quarterback, who's the most versatile quarterback, who's the smartest quarterback, who's the best leader, right? Those are all different criteria. But when your criteria is predicated on what it takes to win championship games. It's talking about being clutch. That's talking about never melting under pressure. That's taking care of the football. That's taking advantage of opportunities when they're there, right? Converting third and fourth downs, winning those money downs, right? That's what it takes to win championship games at the quarterback position. And I think that Kalen DeBoer and his staff are focusing on that is a really smart move. And look, if you listen to them and listen to a lot of other reports, Ty Simpson appears to be the clear winner in that regard, which means he will be the starter for the Tide come the regular season. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Alabama fans in the comment section below, now that we're talking about who the quarterback will be, it seems like Simpson is a clear favorite. He probably was the favorite for a while anyway, but he seems to have really accelerated to the top based on this latest move by Kalen DeBoer here. But now that we're talking starting quarterback for the 2025 season, let us know in the comment section. What matchup are you looking forward to more than any other this upcoming season? Obviously, there's a big one on the 27th of September, but there's a lot of great games. Maybe it's one you're attending in person or one that means a lot to you. For whatever it is, give us your matchup that you're looking forward to more than any other this season and put it in the comment section below. But, Miles, over to you now. What are your thoughts on the Alabama, this move here by Kalen DeBoer, and just everything going on with the quarterback position?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is really important, and I think it's a good update. And, early on in the offseason, especially me, high on Keelan Russell. I think he's a really talented player, and I think he still is. But I think as this has gone on, we have seen the development of how important it was with Simpson just being a guy familiar with the offense and I say this, and I don't want it to be misconstrued in a bad way, he's good enough for this Alabama team. Like Kalen DeBoer said, he's good enough to win championships for this team. I'm not saying he's bad by any means. He'd probably be a fantastic quarterback, but I think it's important that he is familiar with this offense already. He's got a good foothold in this team. It's like you said, the standard is winning championships. Do you want to go in with Guy and Russell or Mac to come into this offense, not be 100% familiar, get off on a slow foot, But no, I think this is Alabama. They need to start fast. They need to win early and often and get this team back into college football playoff contention. And I think by looking all year, watching this quarterback race, hearing all the comments from Coach DeBoer, Ty Simpson's definitely the guy to start this team off the fastest and keep it chugging along as it goes. I think he's good enough to win. I think he's good enough to get them to the college football playoff. I think he's good enough to win in the college football playoff as well. So I think it's a really interesting update as things trend. It looks more and more like Ty Simpson is definitely going to be that guy. I think this is a really big update for the Crimson Tide saying, hey, basically what DeBoer said is everyone else is good. We're happy with them. No one is bad. It's just Ty Simpson looks like the guy that we want to lead this team. Ty Simpson is the person that is pulling ahead because he's good enough to win us a championship. He's familiar with this team. We can start fast and we can get back to our winning ways. I think that's the key here. I think in the future, Kalen Russell probably in the next year or so, he'll end up being a good option as a starter for this team. But right now, it's Ty Simpson, and it's because this team wants to get back to its winning ways. And I think that's the thing to take away from this if you're an Alabama fan. This is a team seems committed to getting back to championship level football, like you said, Nick. People might have forgotten, not the people in Tuscaloosa, not Alabama fans, but this is a team where the standard was winning a championship, and Kalen DeBoer, obviously, he's circling the wagons, saying, guys, look, we can win a championship with Ty Simpson, and that's the guy we're going to stick with going forward. I think it's a really big indictment for Simpson, and I'm really excited to see what this Alabama team looks like come fall when they hit the field.
Well, especially in the new dynamic of the extended playoff, right? It's a different atmosphere. It's very NFL-ish, where you need to have a quarterback that can play and win those playoff games. It's a different kind of vibe than it is winning a bowl game or winning two bowl games when it was the 14 playoff. It's a instead of focusing on, hey, who's the game breaker? Who's the guy who could do the magical play? Who's the guy that can, just basically be the superstar athlete, that can just turn a game and take it over. It's much more focused on, hey, the elements are going to be, you're going to be on the road. You may be in Columbus, Ohio, right? In January, right? You may be in a very cold atmosphere. You don't know exactly where you're going to be. You may be in a dome. You may have a favorable advantage. You may not be. You may be essentially on a road kind of game. It's a different environment than the 14 playoff that we saw, obviously, for a number of years. And what that means is that the style of quarterback play has to shift. We saw it last year, by the way, with the two teams that played for the national title, Notre Dame, Ohio State. We saw Riley Leonard and Will Howard, respectively. Are either of those guys, none of them were drafted very high. Obviously, we like Will Howard on this channel as a quarterback prospect. But if you look at those guys and compare them with other quarterback prospects coming out in the draft that happened a few weeks ago, no one had Howard or Leonard nearly as high as, for example, a guy like Cam Ward, who didn't make it to the playoff. Why? Because even though Cam Ward may be a better physical athlete and prospect, winning postseason games collegiately has now diverged from that, right? Obviously, during the Bryce Young, the Tua days, the Joe Burrow days in the SEC, going and making deep postseason runs was predicated on having an elite superstar quarterback, right? Now it's a little different. You need to play the game different, manage the game, use your weapons, convert third downs, avoid the disastrous turnovers. Because as you play more games, like it is in college basketball, basically, if you're a team, it's all about surviving and advancing, right? It's no longer about can we make the big play to win. It's can we make sure we don't do the disastrous play to lose and then take advantage of your opponent when he makes that disastrous play. That's what playoff football is about in the NFL. That's the way it's about in college basketball. And that's what it's going to be like in the college football world going forward with the new expanded playoff, which, by the way, they reportedly may even add more to it in the upcoming years. So it's going to become even more like college basketball, even more like the NFL. Quarterback position is going to change. You have to have a guy taking care of the football, convert those money downs. Simpson right now is that guy. And look, I'll admit I was wrong, right? On this channel, anyone can go back and look up what I said. I'm like, Keelan Russell's crushing it. He's having a great spring ball, and I still think he did. But the reality is, and I give Kalen DeBoer a lot of credit here for recognizing the criteria is you're looking for a different style of quarterback. It's not 2019 anymore, right? You're not looking for Joe Burrow. You're not looking for Bryce Young. You know what you're looking for, to be totally honest? You're looking for Will Howard. You're looking for Stetson Bennett, right? That's what you're really looking for in terms of winning championships in major college football these days. It's a different environment. Now, if you have a great athletic prospect, and by the way, we're not saying, of course, that there's anything bad with Keelan Russell in terms of managing the game. He just isn't there yet. There's nothing bad with Austin Mack. They just may not be there yet mentally the way Simpson is. And we're not saying Simpson's a bad athlete either. We're just saying he was obviously a big-time recruit, of course, in his own right. We're just saying that right now the focus has shifted to the guy who can manage the game better. And today for Alabama, that's Ty Simpson. And what does that mean? It means they're in a better position to make a deep playoff run. They have to execute on Saturdays, and Coach DeBoer has to do a better job coaching in these games during the SEC schedule than he did during the 2024 season. But I love the criteria he's using. I love the approach he's making. It's a smart move to make. It's the great move to make. And I think both in the short term, it'll help Alabama. Simpson will help them win those kind of playoff games this season, but also it'll help them develop those younger guys like Russell, because now Russell sees exactly what it takes to be a starting quarterback, exactly what it takes to be a playoff quarterback. He'll learn from this, and when it's his time to shine, he'll be ready.